one of the nice things about Served is that I've gone to great lengths to make sure that the Nginx and PHP portions of every single project remain stateless throughout its lifetime, which means that we can have multiple copies of a project running side by side, which is the basis of high availability. And if any one of those instances encounters an error, it can be torn down without losing any data because that's all pushed out to external services. So, a nice feature that I've been working on the last day or so is being able to detect when a particular instance of a project is having trouble. Maybe it's not accepting requests for some reason, or it's taking too long to respond to them, and destroying that particular instance and replacing it with a new one. So, what I just want to demonstrate now is that process, and we should be able to see it working by adding some code that will never complete to a project that is currently live. So, in my web browser here, you can see a site which is hosted on Served. It's just a copy of my blog with no content in there. If I click refresh a few times, you can see that it's loading up pretty quick. There's no problems with that site at the moment. In my terminal, I'm currently logged into the container which is running this app. I'm logged into the PHP container at the moment. By ls, you can see the craft files that are inside that container. So what I'm going to do is add some code to index.php. I'm not sure if Nano is installed. So look, it isn't. Let's add that for a start. So this is going to run with every single page request. Let's stick in a while loop that's never going to finish. Now if I refresh the page in my web browser, it will just start an infinite loop. That will just keep running forever until PHP kills it. I think the PHP timeout is set to 300 seconds at the moment, so it could take up to 5 minutes for that request to get cancelled. If I open multiple copies of this tab in my web browser, it will create multiple requests within the PHP container, and they will keep processing forever until all of the PHP child processes are exhausted. And that's the type of situation that we can auto detect and force the container that has got stuck to restart. So you can see that that's just going to load forever now. So let's duplicate that. Now that's going to be using up 2 of the PHP child processes. It's just going to keep them sat there doing nothing. Let's get a couple more open. So I know that the max children for the PHP process is set to 3 for this staging environment. So I know that by opening 4 tabs, I will have exhausted all the PHP worker children. Now we just have to wait a minute, and in the background, the platform will be checking to make sure that PHP is able to serve pages, and at the moment it can't serve anything because it's completely tied up trying to service these 4 infinite requests. And once it's detected that things aren't working as expected within the PHP container, it will kill it and replace it with a brand new one. So we'll just wait for that to happen. So all at once, these 4 tabs all cancelled their requests. That's because the container was detected as being was failing to serve requests. So it was killed, and I've just been kicked out of the SSH session on that as well, which double shows that it's been terminated. In the meantime, a new copy will be starting up in the background. And if we give this a refresh, we're back. And notice now that my infinite loop has also disappeared. That's because the application has been restored to its pristine state, the bundle that was created as part of the served bundling process, that is the image that has been pushed into the hosting platform again. So if for some reason some weird file system state does end up interfering with requests within the PHP containers, that will be detected and it will be scrapped, and a new one, a new copy, will be deployed from a pristine version of your application. So if anybody wants to inject some infinite loops into your code by some means, then they will be thwarted after about 60 seconds.